They've arrived at Pocono, the Wild Bunch from ARCA, Automobile Racing Club of America. A series for tomorrow's superstars. Before these big-name drivers won at racing's highest level, they won here.
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire. Oh, what a terrible wreck.
ARCA, truly the school of hard knocks. Right now, tomorrow's superstars get their chance on the notorious Tri-Oval at Pocono.
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
40 cars come to life. 40 drivers ready to take it to the limit. 200 miles of racing action live on TBS this Saturday afternoon. It's the ARCA Pepsi 200 from Pocono, Pennsylvania. Weather today, a little on the iffy side. Possibility of rain. Halfway distance, 40 laps may count a lot in this one. And a good day, everyone. Welcome to Pocono, PA, as ARCA settles down to run on one of the most challenging tracks in America. 52 cars came here for this mid-season race. And as they settle down and cinch up the seat belts, the issue with a 30-year veteran of race coverage, Dr. Dick BERGGREN, is about these drivers, the diversity they face, the diversity they face today.
And that's going to help them, Ken. They race in ARCA, where there is more diversity than any place else in American auto racing. These guys are used to running on the dirt tracks of America. They run as well on road courses. They run on the third-mile ovals. They even run on the big 2.66-mile track at Talladega. That's going to help them here at Pocono, where all three turns are different. You got to have a breadth of experience to run well here.
And talk about a breadth of experience, a guy who challenged all the great ones here, Richard Petty, Cale Yarborough, Bobby Allison, right down in there at the end. So many times of those checkered flag battles was Buddy Baker. This is a tough track.
Oh, it's tough, but it's a lot of fun. The drivers really enjoy this racetrack. All three corners are so different. Straightaways are different. Let's take a look at Pocono Raceway from the driver's eye. Down the front straightaway, the longest straightaway they have all year long. 190 miles an hour into turn one, down to the bottom of the racetrack, shift gears right there to get a great run down Long Pond straightaway. You run about 180 miles an hour down Long Pond straightaway into what the driver considers the tunnel turn. They see only one thing, concrete in front of them. They slide out against the wall, down the short chute into turn three, the toughest place for the driver. Right on the bottom, this dictates how fast they run down the front straightaway.
And they sure can travel. Go as fast as you possibly can on that main straight. Point standings with 10 races complete. The senior driver on the circuit, Bill Baird, is up on the point by some 365 over Pennsylvania's own Bobby Gerhart. Checking the second 5 in points as we come to the midway in the season. There you see the winningest driver at Pocono, Beuchat, back there in the 6th position. Check in with our pit reporters now, and we'll start with Steve Burns.
Hey, Ken, now Bill Baird, there's a guy we can all root for, just 2 days shy of his 50th birthday. Heck, he didn't even start driving race cars until he was 40. See, his wife wanted him to get a safer hobby. He was an acrobatic stunt pilot. Again, 2 days shy of age 50. He's hoping to get an early birthday present here today at Pocono. He'll start from the 8th position. To Mike Hogwood.
Blaze Alexander is our pole sitter. He's only 23 years old, from Montoursville, Pennsylvania. It's near here. He's got a lot of friends and family here today. Now, many of these drivers have a car for the short tracks, a car for the dirt tracks, a car for the speedways. Blaze Alexander, he's got one car. It's already won once this season on a half mile. He's hoping to put it in victory lane today here on this super speedway at Pocono. To Randy Pemberton.
37-year-old Frank Kimmel of Jeffersonville, Indiana, is the defending ARCA Series champion. Kimmel comes into this race and will start third. He's also currently third in the ARCA point standings. Through 10 races, he has 2 wins, including 2 weeks ago on the little half mile in Berlin, Michigan. He was also the winner back here in Pocono, June 19th. Frank Kimmel's wife, Donna, as well as his son, Frankie, and daughter, Holly, will be watching the broadcast on TBS back in Indiana today, hoping that Daddy will bring him home a checkered flag here this afternoon. Now let's go back topside to Ken Squire.
Thank you, Randy. First of 2 preliminary laps have been completed. A look at the Walmart Everstart battery starting grid today, and there you see young Blaze Alexander, who blazed his way to a new event record in qualifying, starting beside another youngster, David Keith. Frank Kimmel, veteran ARCA name, is in row number 2. There you see Andy Belmont, Bobby Gerhart, the Pennsylvania driver, second in points back there in row 3. Bill Baird, point leader. He'll start on the outside of row 4. In row 5, champion from out west, that's Lance Hooper. There's Bob Shadd alongside. Billy Venturini out of Chicago, Illinois. Back on the inside of row number 8. Further back, Dan Pardis out of Daytona Beach, out of the NASCAR ranks. Here with ARCA today. Chichetti, that used to hold the record. He's on the outside of row 11 as we get ready for this start. Here we've got Kurt Shelmerdine. Had a little trouble with the truck getting here. Almost went to Ohio by mistake. It's here, he's there, on the outside of row 13. Kevin Councilor is the story. We'll keep you up to date on that in the afternoon's progress as well. Getting back to row 17, Chuck Weber, Howard Rose are there. Getting to row 20, and you're into the provisionals back there, Rick Skinner, and a name well known in NASCAR ranks, David Boggs, riding shotgun on the field as we get ready for a go. I'll look at the AutoZone race analysis, Doctor.
Well, it's going to be a 2.5-mile tri-oval superspeedway. We're going to go 80 laps today if the weather lets us do it. That'll be 200 miles. Pit window, 35 to 40 laps. Several guys going to try to do it on just 1 pit stop today. Full speed, a record, over 164 miles an hour.
Getting ready to go. Here's Bobby Gerhart, Pennsylvania driver. Love to watch this guy in action. Currently second in the points. 7 top 10 finishes this season. 21st start. There's Andy Belmont. He's going to come out of 5th, and he certainly is one of the most versatile drivers in today's field. He's been in the NASCAR Modifieds, the Dash Series. Here's Frank Kimmel. Dominated this series last year, won 9 races, captured his first ARCA Bondo Mar-Hyde title. Lance Hooper is in the number 47 from 9th, that accomplished West Coast star, driving for Richard Jackson today. Well-known name out of the NASCAR ranks. Walter Riley, newcomer from New Jersey, owner of one of the largest overnight delivery services in the country. Let's see what he'll deliver. Here's Christian Elder. The youngster is a graduate of the NASCAR Dash Series, competing in only his 3rd ARCA race. And Blaze Alexander, your pole sitter, began racing at 19 years of age, back in 1995 in ARCA. 9th start at Pocono, and his best finish here is 3rd in 97. There you see them, 40 strong. And as Buddy Baker has pointed out so many times, to watch this field so dramatic as they come down this main straightaway and they take green as much as 5 wide. 1 to go, and they will be racing. Let's go to Mike Hawton.
Talked to many of the leaders, Ken, like Blaze Alexander, Frank Kimmel. They said there is no way that they can make it on 1 fuel stop. First caution after 20 laps, they're going to have to come in and get a full tank of fuel and 4 tires. Talked to David Keith. He says, hey, we get a lot of cautions today. We might be able to make it on 1. So fuel mileage is definitely going to be a story in this race.
There you see the number 11. That's Beuchat. And he's having a problem with that car. That's a guy who got himself into a ride here the last possible moment. Yeah, they're chicken all right. Not that guy. He really wants to play. Ex-sports car driver and very excited about being here. But
yeah, what I was going to point out to the first-time viewer, you see the cars going back and forth. They're getting a little bit of heat into the tires, so they will grip well into the first corner. Also, they're getting all the debris off the racing part of the tire, the lower part that makes the patch on the racetrack itself. So they're going back and forth just to get heat in there and to clean the tire up.
There you see the field coming down toward that very tricky, very treacherous tunnel turn. Tell us about it, buddy.
Well, Well, you can see right on the bottom of the racetrack there, the white part there, they call that a rumple strip. It actually throws the car sideways if you hit that. So you slide the car through this area right through here, and you'll hear them talking about the short chute as he starts wiggling back and forth, as I was talking about cleaning the tires. That part of the racetrack, you can really set a car up to make a pass going into turn 3.
Just 1,700 feet down into my favorite corner. Great old fairgrounds turn. A lot of fun here. Take your line and see if you can hold on.
And that driver's sitting there right now. Both kneecaps are jumping just a little bit. I can tell you that because it's so exciting just before the green flag.
This is the fastest ARCA field that has ever come here to Pocono. Track record was broken. We will see speeds in excess of 200 miles an hour. This is one of the fastest racetracks these drivers will run on all year long.
Coming to the line, field ready for action. Breaking the old event record of Giacchetti from 1997 by nearly 1 mile an hour, 164 plus. Put Blaze Alexander on the point. Pennsylvania driver bringing him down. Pennsylvania crowd on their feet, ready to cheer. This the prelude to tomorrow's Pennsylvania 500 at Pocono. Alexander, the black car, pulls out in front as we go to turn 1. Scooting down to the inside, Frank Kimmel pulls up into second.
Andy Belmont picked up a spot as well. He moved from 5th to 4th on the start.
Your outside pole car is running in 3rd right now. The 8th, as they head down in there, David Keith. That is the brother-in-law of Jeremy Mayfield that runs in Winston Cup.
And his brother-in-law is one of the co-owners of that number 8. Remember the only time it's been seen before this year? Well, if you don't, it was Michigan, and we saw it in Victory Lane. Alexander trying to lead the first lap. Here comes Kimmel after him. Now we're on that very flat 3rd corner and ready to come down this 3,700-foot straightaway where whatever you've got in that motor, you can use it all and then some.
Yeah, and you can over-abuse the motor because about this point on the front straightaway, you pull it back into high gear. You actually shift twice on this racetrack. A lot of these guys are. Some are afraid to try, as David Keith tries to take over 2nd place on the bottom.
Keith down on the bottom, trying to squeeze his way through on that corner. Here's a corner where you don't want to squeeze it. This is really one lane, buddy, when you get up here to that tunnel turn.
Yeah, and the preferred line is right around the bottom as you look back down Long Pond straightaway as they head in there. Watch the cars as they start off the corner here, slipping and sliding to the outside of the wall there.
You're riding with Blaze Alexander, looking back at Frank Kimmel in 2nd place. Keith in 3rd, Belmont 4th, Ray 5th, and Bobby Gerhart in 5th.
Kimmel won the race that was held here in June in this exact same car. Started 3rd in that event.
2nd lap. Race still controlled by Blaze Alexander.
Alexander has just one race car and a borrowed motor in that race car. He doesn't even own the engine he's running today.
Keith down to the inside, and he's going to go into 2nd spot. They're only running 3 ARCA races this year. They've won 1 at Michigan, striving to win number 2 here today at Pocono, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, and a lot of the drivers have been worried about this car all week long because it does have a Rusty Wallace type motor in there. The car is from Jeremy Mayfield, and it's one of the quickest cars in every practice they've had.
But the quickest car, the car on the pole at 164.7, broke through the old record of 163. That's Blaze Alexander staying in front. Steve Burns can add.
Hey, Ken, just to echo what Buddy Baker just said, Frank Kimmel, the driver of the number 46, told me they were very concerned about that number 8 car. He said if that young man, David Keith, doesn't have any problems, he'll be the guy that's going to go to the front. Frank Kimmel's motor, on the other hand, is 2 years old, and they have rebuilt that power plant many times.
A battle for the lead as they come off turn 1. David Keith, as we were just talking about him, a lot of straightaway grip as he starts down through there. You see Blaze Alexander giving him a tussle there at the head.
Tunnel turn coming up.
Oh, he'll have to give way there and drop back in line. There's no way to go through there too wide on the outside.
Not safely at any rate. It has been done, but you don't want to do it if you possibly can avoid it. And one of the problems here at Pocono are DNFs. More than half the field failed to finish this race last year.
Yeah, but it makes a lot of highlight film, too, when you try that.
Yeah, it does.
Blaze Alexander still holds on to the 1st spot, the 23-year-old. just barely having the advantage. Here comes Keith after him again. Kimmel just sitting in the catbird seat back there in third. Gerhart fifth now. Belmont sixth. And Mark Gibson drops into seventh. Lance Hooper is eighth behind this front trio, who are putting on a whale of a show.
Talking about Blaze Alexander, our leader right there. This was his first pole ever. He's won a race, however, but never had a pole position. And he's just from down the road here, about 35 miles.
Last time they tried to go in too wide, and as everyone knows, that is too wide for turn 2. They clip right along up that area of the racetrack. Great super speedway. Pocono, Pennsylvania. 3 different corners. A compromise in suspension. How you set your shocks. Take a look at number 40 beginning to ease out of it here and roll back. Andy Belmont.
Andy Belmont's having some type of problem. He's on the bottom part of the racetrack. They do have a road here that you can pull off the racetrack and get out of harm's way to come in the pits.
Belmont had run as high as 5th in the event. And now he has developed a problem on the American Online Ford, number 40. Second twice this year, Atlanta and out at Salem, Indiana. Not looking good right now.
No, this is his 7th Pocono start. He's not had the greatest of success here at Pocono. 12th had been his best prior finish. And just coasting into the pit road, silent car.
You can see smoke coming off the back of the car there on the spoiler, so he definitely has an oil leak.
So it's a short afternoon for Andy Belmont, it appears. Brings it in, a little smoke trailing out. He's still going tire change right side.
Ah, left side they're going up with.
Yep. Let's go back up with the leaders. And there's a little bit of an interval for Blaze Alexander over Keith in second spot, Kimmel in third. Ray in fourth, Gerhart fifth, Lance Hooper in sixth, and Gibson runs seventh. Back in a moment.
The ARCA Pepsi 200 on TBS Superstation is brought to you by Advance Auto Parts. The best part is our people. By Brewery Fresh Budweiser, official beer of NASCAR. Hey, race fans, this Bud's for you. By Mobil 1 Synthetic Motor Oil. Nothing outperforms Mobil 1. And by Pepsi AC Chewables. Start living heartburn-free with Pepsi AC Chewables.
Working lap 9 of 80, and one of the key contenders is on pit road. Let's get down there and see what the story is.
And the motor is shut off, and a disappointed car owner, it's Jeremy Mayfield, Winston Cup driver. Jeremy, what happened?
I don't know yet. He just got in and sees some smoke out of the exhaust, so I'm sure it's not a good sign. Probably lost the cylinder or something like that. We're not sure yet.
This is your brother-in-law, and he has a lot of talent.
Yeah, he's done a good job, and this whole team's done a great job. We got good cars, good people, and Larry Wallace, all the guys at Penske Engines, they've done a great job this year. And first time I've ever seen any trouble I've engineered, I tell you that.
Well, the car has burned a piston is the word that we're hearing now. It has burned a piston. Car 8's done for the day. This is the car, by the way, that Jeremy sat on the pole with in the race at Japan last December.
Thank you very much, Mike Hogwood. Alexander first, Kimmel second, Ray third, Bobby Gerhart up to fourth, and that moves Lance Hooper to fifth, Mike Swain into sixth. Bill Baird, the point leader, is now in seventh, followed by Gibson in eighth, Tracy Leslie ninth, and Pardis in that 10th spot. You can see that here's number 40, Belmont back, down a lap. Andy Belmont is back. Had a left rear tire going down, buddy?
Yeah, that's what it looked like. He changed the left side tires on it. He's back up to full song. As you can tell down the straightaway here, he's running very well. A lot of straightaway speed, but he is a lap down.
Trying to get a lap back from Dave Adcock right there in the Mannheim auction Pontiac.
Talking about Adcock there in the 45 just in front of Belmont here. He's an auctioneer for the Mannheim group, and he missed a whole week of work just to run here this week. And when he started doing the auctioneering, I'm going to tell you what, you talk about entertainment, everybody in the garage area come running to hear him.
Yeah, nobody wants to wish anyone any ill fortune. Mary said, boy, if he drops out, we really want to hear his interview. Dave Adcock, number 45, and part-time driving instructor here at Pocono, Pennsylvania.
But he's still not going to shift like a lot of the guys do here at Pocono. He said he wants to keep it simple, so he's just going to leave the car in high gear. Many of the drivers will change gears.
Oh, we got trouble out of turn number 3. Got one loop that's fallen to the inside of the course. Everybody's cleared him thus far.
Walter Riley.
Walter Riley.
Ah.
There was great expectations by the crew there. That is a Rusty Wallace race car also, and good motors, good everything.
Caution out. Yellow on the track for the first time. Comes while they're working lap 12. And on board with Riley. Of course, that wasn't luck. He has someone riding with him at all times, right?
Well, yeah, his sponsor is his own trucking company, Guaranteed Overnight Delivery, which for short is God, I guess, is with him no matter what on the racetrack. There's a good shot at Walter. Quite an interesting executive. Not only does he own this corporation, which last year grossed some $68 million, he's his own PR man. And this morning he was taking guests through the garage area, potential clients for his trucking company.
You could see him using his hands there to let the cars behind him know that he was slow going into the pits there. You see him shift up. He's talking to his crew right here.
Started 12th and just got the thrill of his life in this manner.
Right by himself there. That's an easy thing to do in turns 3. You can come into that corner a little bit high and just get yourself in all kind of trouble.
Now, if you'd like to ride with Mr. Riley and God.
Okay, right along here. He's trying to stay on the bottom. Goes through there. You hear him on the front. Uh-oh, runs out of talent right there.
Look at the hands on that steering wheel trying to get hold of that car.
Oh, you hear the tire pop right at the end of the slide there.
The Lord said I'd had enough of this. All right. We've got a caution on the racetrack. There are 12 of 80 laps complete. Blaze Alexander still is your leader.
Him.
Tomorrow, starting at 12:35 on the Superstation, it's the Pennsylvania 500. Can defending champion Jeff Gordon repeat? Pole sitter Mike Skinner will lead the field down tomorrow. There's the guy they're talking about, Jeff Gordon. He'll be right here tomorrow on the Superstation. Hope you'll be with us to enjoy it. 12:35, our coverage begins. Well, here you see the field under caution. The guys up in front elected not to pit. Several others did come into pit that are running on the back of the lead lap.
A total of 8 different drivers chose to pit at that point to put fuel in their cars. Bob Shack, Shelmerdine, Woodland, Light, Whittemore, Larimore, and Beuchat all pitted, and that'll surely take them at least to the halfway point.
Riley getting ready to come back out, I believe. Great aerial shot of this beautiful 2.5-mile track. And there's Walter, ready to go back to work.
Got a lot of damage on the right front corner there. That's going to hurt him as far as downforce on the front of the car.
Actually not to work, to play for Walter Riley here. Talking to his crew there, hit the button on the steering wheel. Buddy?
Taking a look at Walter Riley coming down the corner of the white car there. You see the back of the car. Just get away from him. He goes around and around there. I guarantee you, about that time, the right front tire blew out. He's having himself a hard time there, but he actually got in the throttle a little harder than he should, and the back of the car just kicked out.
It's so easy to do up in turn 3.
Yeah, you're just walking it through there anyhow. You're kind of sliding it through the corner to begin with, and you're getting the throttle a little too hard, and you break traction, and around it comes.
Let's get an STP pit roundup in here and go to Randy Pemberton.
Well, I can update you on what Kirk Shelmerdine did. He pitted, took on 4 tires, and decided to fill the car up with fuel. Likewise for David Leake. They want to try to make it in one more stop. One other guy that had a problem is DILL Whittymore. Right prior to that caution coming out, he thought that he had a transmission problem. It's not stuck in 4th gear, but he has a vibration. That's the overdrive, so they're going to have to run it in 3rd gear. Not to mention, he has a broken left front shock. So DILL Whittymore's day is not over with, but it's certainly running on a sour note here this afternoon.
It's a dill pickle for him. That's his sponsor, too. Isn't that the way he got his sponsor? Some story about that?
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't you get it? If your name was Dill Pickle, I think so.
Called the company up, and they said, what a great idea.
Yeah. Mount Olive Pickle Company supports a guy named Dill. How perfect.
So Alexander, there he is, and in a bit of a pickle. Kimmel 2nd, Ray 3rd, Gerhart 4th, Hooper 5th, and Swain is 6th. And none of these folks elected to come on pit road. Bill Baird has picked up 3 spots, finds himself in 7th, with Tracy Leslie in 8th and Mark Gibson to 9th. Dan Pardis having a good day in that 10th spot. stay right with them as they get ready to go back to green. Now, how are you running as you come up to take green here at Pocono with this extensive long straightaway, buddy?
Well, what you're in about second gear right there.
Oh,
There's still one to go right now, but they're saving fuel also to go the distance on one stop. So these caution laps are really helping these cars that are out there riding around. You keep it in high gear, keep the RPMs down low.
Napa running order for you, following through the field with 15 of the 80 laps now complete. This is how the whole gang is doing out here at Pocono, Pennsylvania this afternoon. Hope you're enjoying the race and will be with us tomorrow. They've accomplished 37.5 miles, 162.5 to go to make this 200-mile distance.
If you don't believe a mirror is important to driving a race car, look at the size of that rear mirror you could have looked at. It's about 12, 14 inches wide there, and you can see 90% of what's behind you.
Here's fourth place, Bobby Gerhart. Great champion, came out of the dirt ranks, a lot of modifieds. Pennsylvania, he's a big name and is in ARCA. What a dramatic win he had at Daytona. And there, okay.
Now, Dill Whittemore trouble there, put up on his race car.
That's too bad. His best career finish was at Salem. He had a second there in 1995.
They're going to button it up, maybe send him back on his way here. Get a report from Mike Hogwood down on pit road.
And we're with Dave Liner, crew chief for Blaze Alexander. What's Blaze saying so far? It looks like he's running great.
Well, Blaze is kind of taking it easy on the Perkins Chevrolet today. We're just trying to get him in a rhythm, keep it smooth. We got plenty of race left, and we don't want to burn the tires up too quick. We want to make the tires last as long as we can through the fuel running and keep him up front at the same time.
When you plan to bring him in for fuel and tires?
Somewhere between lap 28 and 32.
All right, that's the word from the crew chief, the car that's leading the race, Blaze Alexander.
Hey, guys, I thought we heard it'd be about 37 if they could stay green, and they're saving fuel right here. Well, let's get back to Steve Burns for a moment.
Hey, Ken, thought the fans at home might want to know about the tire situation here at Pocono. Now, tomorrow on TBS, when you watch the Winston Cup race, you'll see 10, 12 sets of tires mounted up in the pits. ARCA, they try to save money. Most of the teams told us that they'd have about 4 sets of tires. Now, a set of tires is $1,400. So do the math. You're looking at about a $6,000 tire bill.
But the tires are cheaper than putting on a new front clip. Andy Belmont trying to make a lap up here on the inside, number 40. Remember, Belmont is well back in 36th position. Had trouble early. Blue and yellow car on the inside. On the outside is your leader, Alexander. Green is down.
Green is back, and Andy Belmont would love to get down in the corner with Blaze Alexander and get that lap back, but he got a dreadful start on the inside.
Ah, you're saying we may get some sprinkles over there in turn 2 right about now. Let's see how these front contenders handle second turn as they go to the tunnel turn. Round 1 into Long Pond straightaway.
That's one thing you don't want is water on the racetrack with these race cars. There's no tread on these tires, and if you hit moisture in the corner, it's like your own grease.
Alexander currently running in the lead. He is probably one of the few people here at Pocono that was happy to see David Keith go out so early in the race. He didn't think he could beat Keith necessarily. His plan was just run second, follow him lap after lap, see what happened at the end. Instead, Keith went out early with engine trouble, and here Blaze Alexander leads the race.
Spot on as Blaze Alexander stays right there, and Kimmel holds right in second. Look at that Chevrolet 1, 2, 3 up in front, buddy.
Boy, and an awful quick shift there as he went by about halfway down the straightaway. Now he's back into third gear, down into turn 1, hugging the bottom of the racetrack. Blaze Alexander, our winner, leader right now, coming out of turn 1 and down Long Pond straightaway. He'll leave it in third gear all the way down this back straightaway. Listen to that engine scream.
Looking back from the leader. That's from Alexander back to Kimmel, who just gave you those great pictures. And, buddy, that description of what he's doing out there as you listen to Alexander's motor. Down the short chute and into turn 3 with the Advanced Auto Parts Chevy of Frank Kimmel.
Kimmel's an interesting story. He had been here so long in Pocono, 13 starts, but never really did anything until a couple of years ago when he got in much better equipment. Since then, he's had a pair of seconds and third to win.
Look at this for 4th and 5th. That's Gerhart there. Hooper ready to challenge. Hooper in that blue and white number 47.
A lot of people remember Lance Hooper from the Busch Grand National Series and Western Cup. He's dabbled in a little bit. He also was the Southwest Tour Championship driver, and he has a lot of ability, everybody says.
And the Hoopers are a well-known racing name in the southwestern United States.
And he won the final practice yesterday. Hooper in that number 47 car is incredibly quick. He, however, has just one Pocono start before today.
Gerhart fourth, and Hooper in the number 47 in fifth. Hey, we'll take a commercial break right here as we get around to the 19th lap complete, this time by Blaze Alexander out in front.
They say that when the going gets tough, the tough get going. They say that a lot about the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Because racing just doesn't get any tougher than this. The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. This is NASCAR.
Napa application engineered brakes can stop you 20 feet shorter than ordinary brakes. That's important.
Budweiser presents the Bud Pole Award. Starting near the front is always important, but it's critical at the Pocono Raceway. 27 of 43 Bud Pole Award winners have finished in the top 5. 6 of them have gone on to victory lane. Darrell Waltrip was the first Bud Pole Award winner to end up in victory lane at Pocono, winning in his championship year of 1981. The late Tim Richmond was the next to turn the trick in July of 1983. 2 years later, it was awesome Bill Elliott winning the 1985 Vanscoy 500 from the Bud Pole. In 1994, both Pocono races were won by the drivers who started first. Rusty Wallace was the winner in June, and Jeff Bodine celebrated in victory lane in the July race. The last driver to win at Pocono from the pole was Jeff Gordon, who dominated the race in June of 1996.
And yesterday, Mike Skinner became the 10th different pole winner this year. We'll see him up front tomorrow. We start the 500. We've got one in trouble big time. Number 45, Dave Adcock. And he really shortened that one up.
Turn 3 again.
Adcock has ripped the back off that Mannheim auction Pontiac, one of the 2 Richard Jackson cars in the event. Caution down for the second time.
You see his window net is down. That's to let everybody that comes to the car that he has plenty of, he's okay. That's the way you let the people in the fire trucks and all know you don't have to hurry to you.
And at number 11, Beuchat, he's also involved down there on the bottom of turn 3. There's the one that it really looks like it sustained some damage.
Now, Adcock, the driving instructor here at Pocono, I wonder what he'll tell his students about today's event come Monday when he starts teaching class again.
I got wrapped.
Yeah, somebody took the air off my spoiler. I think I got hit in the back. It wasn't my fault.
Stock Car Racing Experience is the group that he teaches for here, and he's just had a very big experience. Alexander, Kimmel, Ray, Gerhart, the front 4. As we have completed 23, as they come by this time, 24 will be on the board of 80 laps to be run on this 2.5-mile track in this event, which is the overture to tomorrow's Pennsylvania 500. Hope you're going to be with us. We'll start covering activities at 12:35 in the morning. 1:05 is post time for the Winston Cup Stars here at Pocono, and it's always a spectacular day on this race facility. Take a look at the replay of what happened to Adcock.
Keep your eye on this car, the 45, as it goes down into turn 3. The back car there going into the flat turn 3.
On the far right of your screen, Adcock all
right
by
there.
himself.
Right by himself, loses the car, goes up hard into the outside wall, then comes back almost into the racing groove.
That's the problem with so many cameras. You have something like that happen, you just can't blame anybody else. He was all alone.
And Beuchat tried to take some avoidance down on the inside, and the 11 car got loose on him and landed down on the grass. He should be able to continue. Big question mark for Richard Jackson's number 45.
That's always good to see him walking to the ambulance, so that's mandatory on major speedways to go and be checked out.
I think we may see the leaders coming on a pit road this time, buddy. We're at lap 23. Let's see what happens with Alexander first, Kimmel second, Ray third,
Pit road is open. They have a flag man at the entrance to pit road. You can't go in unless he is waving the green flag, which he is.
Our leaders are heading down pit road.
You see Blaze Alexander, the leader, Frank Kimmel in second, and Kevin Ray, the youngest driver on the field at 21. So we'll have 3 of them in here. We'll show you the front 3 as all of them pull on to pit road for a fuel stop. There you see at the top Blaze Alexander, Kimmel, and young Kevin Ray on the bottom of your screen.
They're going to change all 4 tires on the 46. You see the jack man over there right now. 1 pump, 2 pumps on the jack is up.
Going all the way around on the 79, youngster Ray.
Frank Kimmel's on the move already in the 46 car in the middle frame there.
Kimmel coming out after changing 2. Did he go all the way?
He got all 4.
He did get all 4.
Yep.
Kimmel out with all 4, quickest by far. They come back out and hold their position as they cross the line here and come back on the track. But out of all of that, look at Gerhart. Bobby Gerhart in the number 5, who was 5th when they came on pit road, had a phenomenal stop just behind this trio.
I hope that wasn't anything serious. It's a 97 there. Blaze Alexander was going back on the racetrack. I noticed a little bit of smoke.
STP pit roundup after this rash of pit stops, and here's Mike Hogwood.
Well, everything's gone great for Blaze Alexander today except for that pit stop. They came in, all they were going to do is change 4 tires and give it some gas and go, but they could not get the jack up on the left side of the car. A very slow pit stop for Blaze Alexander.
We've got a tire loose out here. Oh, and it came off the number 42. That's Pardis, isn't it?
Yeah, he had been running very well. Danny Pardis, apparently they failed to get the lug nuts tight on that car. He's lost a left rear.
That's a hard way to lose it. Embarrassing, too.
Yeah, he'd been in 9th spot.
That happens many times, though, when you're in a hurry and they drop the jack and the guy takes off when they drop the jack.
Happens
it does not
to the
mean
best.
it's over with.
Happens to the best. Remember David Pearson at Martinsville for the Wood Brothers. I mean, that does happen fairly frequently. Pardis. Oh, that's a hard one. He'd been running so well. Had been up in 9th position, Dan Pardis. So, we'll take a commercial break and be back with you here at Pocono, Pennsylvania. It's the ARCA Pepsi 200.
Brought to you by Winnebago Industries. For information on Winnebago Industries products for the Winnebago Motorsports team, call 1-800-642-4892. Mack trucks are furnished by Clement Chevy Mack Sale. For all your truck and tractor needs, call Clement at 1-800-369-MACK. Featherlight, the official trailer of NASCAR, Kart, IRL, NHRA, ASA, and the World of Outlaws. Call Featherlight for trailer and motor coach needs at 1-800-800-1230. And by LA West Luxury Vans, available at select dealerships nationwide. Call for a free video, 1-800-786-VANS.
26 laps, 65 of 200 miles have been completed here. Coming up tonight at 7 p.m. on the Superstation, it's the Atlanta Braves taking on the Philadelphia Phillies. John Smoltz takes the mound for the Braves. Chad O'Jay goes for the Phillies this evening. That's on the Superstation at 7 tonight. After the pit stops, a major change. Mike Cicchetti has found himself first spot. He was the guy that was quickest here for a couple of years in ARCA racing at Pocono. He did not pit, did he?
No, sure did not.
Automobile Racing Club of America is nearly as old as NASCAR and has produced some of today's top driving talent and had its share of great moments and personalities.
A close friendship with NASCAR founder Bill France Sr. led John Markham to start a Midwest Stock Car Series in 1953. The series' winningest driver with 79 victories was Iggy Katona. Wheeling the number 30, Katona finished in the top 10 in points every year from 1953 to 70. He won 6 championships. The name changed to the Auto Racing Club of America, ARCA, and in 1964 it expanded from its Mid-American home base. Daytona and Talladega ARCA races attracted bigger names. Benny Parsons won championships in 1968 and 69. In 1979, Kyle Petty won Daytona's ARCA 200 in a huge upset. The big win happened in the first race of any kind Petty drove. A young Davey Allison was an ARCA star, winning 8 times, displaying skills that led to NASCAR's bright spotlight. Ernie Irvin, winning in the green car, was one of ARCA's many heroes. Ken Schrader, Darrell Waltrip, Jeremy Mayfield, Dick Trickle, and Kenny Irwin are all ARCA winners. Just last year, Adam Petty, on the right, at age 18, won his first super speedway race. Like Dad's first win, it was an ARCA victory. 3 generations of Pettys, winning stock car drivers all, celebrated in Charlotte's Victory Lane. ARCA, its racing history, its drama, and its family.
John Markham was some kind of guy. He used to have a big dinner. It was a barbecue, actually, hamburgers down at Daytona. Gave everybody that came $silver. Wonderful man. Well, we have Frank Cicchetti up in front, and Kurt Shelmerdine finds himself in second place in this spin-off of the action that's happened on the track. And there's Kimmel in the number 46 back out. And Steve Burns can tell us the story on this car right now.
Well, Ken, the 46 of Frank Kimmel was running second before that round of pit stops. The crew has been down here checking on the tires. This is a gauge, a depth gauge, that shows how much wear the tires are. They look good on the number 46 of Frank Kimmel. They also took just a little piece of tape off the front grille. It was running a little bit hot.
Puts him back to 12th spot as he gets ready on this restart. And he'll be just in front of the guy who dominated the first portion of the race, Blaze Alexander, who will be in 13th when they get ready to go. So they're still in lockstep. Kimmel and Alexander, but for the moment, it will be Kimmel 1 spot up on Blaze when we go back to green. Now again, take a look inside of Kimmel's number 46, the advanced car, as he gets ready for this go. And Chetty did not pit. Got him out in front. Shelmerdine, what a day he's had.
He has pitted before, however.
Second place.
Yeah, Shelmerdine pitted on lap 12, lap 13. Woodland, who is in 3rd spot, has also pitted already. So they could be able to get a little bit further along in this event. And everybody's eyes are still at the sky. We have an overcast sky here today. Some blue poking through. There was a question as to whether we were going to get the whole thing in. Lap 41 is a race complete. And so they all wanted to be sure that they could get at least that far.
Now, Andy Belmont, you see him down, tucked on the bottom of the track in the number 40. He is a lap down and trying to get back, and he may have a shot here. Had a bad restart on the first caution. Let's see what he can do this time. Pull up through, get himself some room to run around that number 17 of Cicchetti and also get up on Shelmerdine. Not going to happen there.
Pretty tough to get your lap back here in Pocono.
Talking about Kurt Shelmerdine and the 3 running in second right there. They say he gets the best gas mileage of anybody out there, and I wonder where he got that talent from. He was the crew chief on Dale Earnhardt's championship efforts 4 years, and he really knows how to work on these race cars himself.
Venturini made a big move. You saw him in that 25 down to the inside, just scooting by 4 cars. Permatex car. Let's go down to Randy Pemberton.
Well, after years of being in the NASCAR Winston Cup garage area, Kurt Shelmerdine has established a lot of friends, and it's so today. Look at his crew in here. He's got guys from Jeremy Mayfield's team. He's got guys from Wally Dallenbach's team, as well as Jimmy Spencer, Ernie Irvin. Guys from the Winston Cup garage area helping Kurt Shelmerdine try to win this race here this afternoon. They're calling themselves the real Rainbow Warriors.
Well, if he wins the race here this afternoon, it's going to be quite an upset. The truck driver missed directions and wound up in Ohio instead of Pennsylvania. The truck driver bringing the race team here is Shelmerdine on the inside looking for the lead. Shelmerdine missed virtually the whole first day of practice. Look at this. He's taken over first spot.
Yeah, he took the inside down Long Pond straightaway. He moved by Cicchetti as they go through the short chute. I tell you, Shelmerdine looks like he has a good motor in that car. Missed a lot of practice yesterday. As they said, the car was not here. It was going to another racetrack. They got confused about where they had to go this week.
Well, they're back and looking really good right now, leading in this ARCA Pepsi 200. Take a look at that interval back through the field. Jimmy Kitchen's having a good day. He's beginning to make make himself known up on that leaderboard. I'll see what he does before it's over.
Well, he has a lot of help in the garage area. Red Farmer goes with Jimmy Kitchens at just about all the races that he runs in ARCA. And anybody that knows Red Farmer knows he's probably the winningest race car driver in the Southeast.
3 wide.
There's Alexander getting sorted out further back in the field.
He's all the way back in the 13th position right now after having led early before those pit stops. So he's got a bunch of cars to pass before he'll be a contender again this afternoon.
Look at Kevin Ray there in that 79. Kevin in 10th position at the present time, closing on Weber in the 24.
Gear lever going back and forth in that car as he heads into turn 3, right down on the rumple strips on the left side there, the white part of the racetrack. Car will drift out, coming out right against the wall and down the longest straightaway in NASCAR.
Got some running to do. He's got to clear out a bunch of cars to get up there and attack. He's got Ray right in front of him at the present time. Ray in the 79, that black, yellow-green kind of number. We should call that line.
Yeah, Rich Woodland on the high side.
Yeah, and Woodland is racing in position. He's showing 8. Number 85, the white red numeral car on the outside.
Kevin Ray making a move in the 79 down towards the tunnel turn, makes the pass there. This kid's only 21 years old and a wealth of knowledge about driving.
He's about to get blown in the weeds by Alexander. Blaze Alexander really coming on. Bob Schatz, number 75.
Shack's had a bad day today in that 75. Many trips into the pit area, running well off the pace.
Got used as a pick that time by Woodland. Was able to stay out in front of Alexander coming off that car. Using that tunnel turn so narrow. Got to be just right there. Good timing for Woodland. 79 is Ray. 97 is Alexander. Ray up to 8, closing on Kitchens in 7. Drawing Alexander with him.
Jimmy Kitchens raced earlier this year for Bobby Allison in Busch Grand National. I'd love to see him have a great run. Blaze Alexander on a mission right now, down in the tunnel turn.
And the number 85 of Rich Woodland has to settle back a spot. Now take a look at this. Lance Hooper mixing it up. 1, 2, and 3 right here at the 3rd turn. Lance Hooper settles it down on the inside, pulls up and goes after the leader, Kurt Shelmerdine. Coming around to complete lap 33. Shelmerdine, the black car down on the inside. And the number 47 of Hooper comes after him.
Hooper's got a great car. Richard Jackson has a lot to do with this car, and I'll tell you, you can tell it. They've always had great motors, the Jackson brothers have.
Well, they should have. What Hooper's real full-time job isn't as a race car driver right now. It is as an engine builder for this same team. So you better have plenty of power under the hood. There's the shift.
Now you can see he's shifting even on the short chute and back in the tunnel turn. A lot of people are doing that. That means he's shifting 4 times around this racetrack.
Got a King Kong of a motor here, pulling up 1,700-foot short straightaway to that flat turn number 3. Let's see if he can deal with Shelmerdine. Everything counts on getting good position off this 3rd turn.
Going right out against the wall. You'll hear the motor really screaming right along there, and he'll jerk it back into high gear about that point on the racetrack.
Shelmerdine using up an awful lot of racetrack. He's running high, low. He's really trying to prevent Hooper from getting a beat on him anywhere. Slip back to 3rd spot in the red car. Just saw him in the corner of your screen there a moment ago.
Take a look at this. Outside, coming off the high bank of turn 1, and into the lead goes Lance Hooper, number 47.
Now that's hero material, but he didn't get it done yet. Kurt Shelmerdine fights back as they go towards the tunnel turn.
I don't believe it.
Easy.
He's hanging it out there. Oh, my heart, right through the tunnel turn. Last moment, pulls back just a little, or he'd have pulled the side off the car in that concrete. Into turn 3, and Shelmerdine still leading. We've got ourselves a real dogfight for first spot. Shelmerdine versus Hooper. Sort of east versus west here. Hooper out of the southwest. Big NASCAR star there. Shelmerdine from the eastern United States, trying to make a name in ARCA after being a great crew chief for Dale Earnhardt for years.
Frank Kimmel there in the orange-looking car as they head down in the corner. He's already moved back through the field again.
Yeah, Tracy Leslie's up there on the outside in the 23. Here comes Kimmel right after him.
side by side again.
Oh!
There you go. Little
Thank you
contact
very
there.
much.
Kurt Truman said, I believe I want that spot.
I believe he wants it a lot to do that kind of a stunt.
Chrome horn. Baker's chrome horn being honked there.
I didn't invent that move, believe me.
No, but you used it a lot, didn't you?
Lance Hooper is so much quicker down in turn 1 right now. He's making all the moves he makes on the outside of the racetrack. That's very hard to do here. But look, as they fight back and forth for the lead, the back group there is moving in. Tracy Leslie in third there, and Kimmel, they just eating the leaders up.
It's getting crowded up front right now as Kirk Shelmerdine is doing his best to hold back the angry pack.
Bobby Gerhart lies 5th at number 5. Here comes Hooper up on the outside. Shelmerdine to the bottom. You ding somebody like that. Does that get your attention in the race car, buddy?
Well, you just have to recompose and go after it and drive your own race.
Cicchetti in the pits.
The number 17, which was running right up there at that outset after the caution. Cicchetti now on pit road. Winner's circle car coming to a halt.
There's Pardis. He had lost the left rear tire, and you can see the damage back there in that number 42 car.
I want to see that guy get a good run someday. Nice fella. Here's Shelmerdine and Hooper still fighting it out, and for the moment, Lance Hooper has the advantage. And it's about 2 car lengths. And that's the biggest advantage anybody's had. 10 or 12 laps. Take a look at this as we go to commercial. That's Shelmerdine on the inside. Hello. Just want you to know I'm here. Back in a moment.